So guys, this Rivers elder has come out to say that Tinubu is using Wike and the evil divide and rule tactics to destabilize Rivers State. So this man is outrightly pointing fingers at Tinubu that he's the one destabilizing the state and that he's using Wike. We all know that this fight is just, fight for 2027. They just want to take over Rivers State at all costs. And this man is coming out boldly to say that Tinubu is the one to be held responsible for what is happening in Rivers State, that he wants Rivers State to be like Lagos State, that he's using the evil tactics of divide and rule that is being implemented in Lagos. That is what he's using to, destabilize the state, because he's using Wike to achieve that. So guys, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at the boldness of this man, the way he has come out to many people are scared not to say Tinubu should be held responsible. People are just saying, let him caution Wike, let him caution Wike. But it takes courage for you to come out to say, oh, Tinubu is really the one playing this music that we are seeing Wike dancing, that there is no smoke without fire. Anyway, you are going to take your time and watch this video to see and hear for yourself what this man has come out to voice out, for Nigerians to know exactly why, the turmoil in Rivers State has refused to stop. Just take a look for yourself.
We want to hear from you first. What you have to say, then we can ask full of questions.
Well, it became very necessary for me to address you, especially concerning recent happenings and the press statement of the immediate past governor of Rivers State and the present minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and that coupled or combined with the Mr. President's reply or reaction during the visit of elders of the pandemic. I recall very vividly, if Nigerian population has not forgotten, that I did grant an interview to AIT sometime November 2023, when Mr. President was to intervene in the crisis of Rivers State. And I did mention to them that I am not expecting anything positive. And today I still hold that view. I said so then, and I still maintain it now, because Mr. President and the present Minister of the Federal Capital Territory shares a lot of commonalities, both in attitude, in character, and in operation. They are both politically very rascally. They have an insatiability in terms of accumulation of wealth, and also have a non-limited ambition of manipulating and indeed controlling humans. But one thing they also share that is interesting, that both of them fears a lot. They all fear, they fear a lot. When once they are so confronted. Else, how will Mr. President say that SIM disobeyed the 8-point agenda, if not for these commonalities I have mentioned? I did mention it, I did reveal to Nigerians after the visit that I was there, that Mr. President said everything that SIM need to do as governor. And when Adoge Amesimaka asked the question, his reply tells us that he was already biased, that the invitation was to give us a smiling and polite insult. But one thing he said very clearly is that these 27 lawmakers have crossed the Red Sea and they can never come back. But the meeting started with condemnation of the governor. This is an insult to democracy. This is a disgrace to democracy. And these are exact words of the Supreme Court judges. So there's a link, and something is fundamentally wrong. That those 27 lawmakers that he also said have defected and cannot cross the Red Sea come back to say that they are no longer defected. And Mr. President is clapping his hand for them. Those who, the commissioners that abandoned him, SIM, reappoints them and swear them in. Mr. President says SIM never respected the decision. Salaries were paid to the House of Assembly members at that time. SIM has not responded. SIM went and withdrew all the cases Whereas behind it, I'm sure, Mr. President, encouraged the Wike, pro-Wike assembly members not to withdraw their cases. That is the case with which they are punishing Rivers State now. So who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? But let me say this. The governor has spoken, and to say that he will respect and comply with all the decisions of the Supreme Court, and he has started. That is saving Rivers State, that is saving Nigeria, because of his peaceful disposition. But for Wike to transcend from that political conflict and find himself now swimming in a very deep ocean of ethnic condemnation and ethnic threat is very unfortunate on his part. Let me say this, a lot of Nigerians will not know. What we say is that it's Jonathan and his wife, Ijopo, that made him president. It's Ijopo that made him local government chairman. When he was first elected to be the candidate of the PDP, PDP National wrote to Rivers State that he's not their candidate. It's your son, Dr. Samson Jaja, I'm quoting him, that insisted that he will not take directive from the PDP National Headquarters, that the only people that can direct him is the state PDP. And that is how Wike contested and won local government chairman in his first tenure. It's an Johnson. So sometimes when people talk, I even laugh. He said he has helped the people. No, he was only trying to repay them for what they have done. They laid the foundation for him to be what he is. He was only trying to repay them. And that is his status. And that is one status that Mr. President and him also share. They don't forgive. They have the spirit of revengeance. We can never forget that experience. Then the last experience has to do with the issue of the presidential ambition he had, and he failed. So his vow is a revenge on PDP, and PDP will never know peace for that. And that is one attribute of Mr. President, so we must know this. But above all, I must say, and that will interest Nigerians, is the fact that Mr. President plays a politics of divide and rule. When he was governor of Lagos State, all the local government has two leaders at a particular time. So that way he controlled the reality of the two. He will appear to be working with him. He will appear to be working with. That is it. The current problem in Lagos State of Assembly exactly is his handwork. I know we know this in politics. It's divide and rule. It's time for him to divide loyalty of APC in Lagos so that at the end of the day, he's in control. Because he was aware that the governor of Lagos State, one way or the other, contributed to the fundraising of Atiku. So from that day, he declared him an enemy. We know this. We in PDP, we know this. And so it's time for him to say that this man cannot be 100% trusted and be loyal, so he's doing that. So what I'm saying in essence is that Mr. President has created a problem in Rivers State with his political tactics of divide and rule. Wike, as in his own turn, now dive himself to ethnic threat, ethnic harassment that can swallow him any day, anytime. And I said that because without a jaw, he will be nothing. And he cannot bite the finger that fed you. One sin that God never forget is that of ingratitude. Wike is an ungrateful person. He uses people and he dumps them. Samson Jaja made him a local government chairman. That is the springboard with which he is whatever today. Jonathan helped him to become governor. Governor. That is the springboard with which he is now working as a minister. Jonathan appointed him a minister for the first time as a German. That popularized him and gave him the spread in Nigeria. So for him to now say that these people are minorities of minority, they are useless, they cannot win election, I believe that he has 48 hours to rescind that. Else some of us will be forced, not minding the barriers and not minding the fact that some of us also have the DNA of being liquidated. We will be able to let him know. But Nigerians should know that the character, the personality that Wike has so far exhibited does not represent an average Rivers man. It doesn't even represent the people with the lowest quality of life. Nobody knows where he has brought it, and nobody should judge Rivers' sons and daughters because by virtue of the kind of character he has exhibited.
Okay, Chief. At this point, there is an issue that is very pertinent. The Supreme Court has ruled on the political issue in Rivers State. The government is expected to present the budget. It was there. Okay, there was first 48 hours resume, and then extended to 72 hours. And the governor went back yesterday after he said he had written and he saw the letter he had written. But there is installments. Where do we go from here?
No, let me tell you this. I see a lot of us forget. Remember, my last briefing, I said Wike is a man who cannot survive where there is peace. He knows that the moment the House of Assembly members and the governor reconciles, that is the end of his domination. So he will do everything to scuffle it at every time and at all points. Remember, I said that. It actually doesn't matter who is approaching first at this point in time, if each of them has the interest of Rivers State at heart. But the governor, being the leader, has always negotiated and initiated it. He wrote to them for a meeting. They declined. In fact, there was a function in Government House that day. He stepped it down to receive them. They did not, but that did not discourage him. He decided to go to the House of Assembly to present the budget. It is one man. It's Wike. Because once they reconcile, that dominance will end. Let me tell you, once a man does not have shame, he can go any length. Anybody that has shame will hide his face when they confront you with a lot of things you said you will never do and you are doing. A lot of things you commended, now you say it's bad. He was talking about Enebele as one of the best. Who is the best? Now he says Enebele is bad. He has already extended by saying that, go and ask. Diri came to beg me. One day he will tell you that Tinubu begged him. In fact, he started by saying that, go and ask, he didn't even give you one kobo. Of course, he's even wealthier than him, perhaps. So you are seeing somebody who lacks the character of shame, the quality of shame. That he will say one thing, and the next day they will confront you and say, this is what they said yesterday, today you are saying this thing. He doesn't murder. See how restless he is during the interview. Why is he furious? For those of them who this elementary psychology will tell you the situation, I'm not going to say it. Somebody who is very restless, even when discussing with pressmen, there's something fundamentally missing and wrong that Nigerians will soon find out. But I must say it, that nobody should judge any Rivers man based on his character and the character he has exhibited to the country. That is not us. That is not Rivers people.
Okay, sir. The House of Assembly members of the lawmakers are worried that they are ready to ensure the funds seized is given back to Rivers State. But the approach of the government is not in tandem with procedural things of relating the executive and the legislative arm. Yesterday, they said communication is two-way thing. The governor claimed when we saw evidence of the letter, but the speaker of the House of Assembly is denying that they are not in possession. So you are a leader that also work with the governor. Is it not nice or good for the governor to have waited for their response before going to? Because they say it's drama, the governor is acting. It's not wise for the governor to wait for them to get a response.
Let me tell you this. You see, that is what I'm saying. When once you have people, the welfare and the happiness of people you lead at heart, you must let go certain things. All right, the governor has made 2 attempts that is wrong. They should make their own that will be right. He has made an attempt inviting them to the government house. He said it's wrong approach. He has gone to the assembly. It's a drama. What attempt have they made to bring peace in the state? So we should think. His approach is always wrong. At least he's making an attempt. What have you done? Is it the 48 hours ultimatum for everything? Is it calling EFCC to begin to probe people? When we are forgetting that he who lives in glass house should not throw stone. Don't they have enough things to investigate? So this is the point I'm making. If my approach is wrong, come up with a recommendation or an approach that is going to look and sound decent and acceptable. You have not done.
Okay, before I let you go, sir, you are a product, or let's say you are a member of the restoration team, a political team that was high and mighty in Rivers State some time ago, and it's being led by a very respected former governor of Rivers State, Peter Obiwe, a member of the restoration team. Just 2 days ago, the EFCC gave leave, of course, the Supreme Court gave leave of court to EFCC to go and represent, to respond to issues about the standing order of the EFCC to investigate the government of Delay and every other government that will follow suit. It's a political undertone. Why is it coming?
Let me tell you this. You see, I have just said that he who lives in a glass house should not throw stone. I come up from, I am from an area where they said he who tries to leak the bottom of a mortar may unconsciously go and dig old pepper. That's my answer.
Okay. All right, just one from you. Yesterday during the media chat by the STTE minister, he described the Ijaw people as the minority of the minority, meaning that an Ijaw man cannot be a governor of any state in the Niger Delta region except Bayelsa State. And for Rivers State, an Ijaw man is opportunity to be governor today because he handpicked, that individual. You're an Ijaw son and a leader at that. What is your response to that tantrum by former governor, now FCT minister at Ijaw people?
Well, let me just say, we need to correct a few things. Ijaw sons may not have been, in Rivers State, may not have been elected governors. Not that they've not been governors. We've had military governors from Ijaw. Being principal is one. Major Briggs was another person. But we may not have had an elected. And that is very possible. For everybody that has been since, and again, let me say, again, we have had other judge. He's an Ijaw. So it's not possible. That's the point I'm saying. So you see, he lacks knowledge, historic knowledge. I've just mentioned 3 Ijaw sons that have been. 1 elected, 2 appointed. We may not have been now because we elected not to be. I've been a foundation member. As at the time Odile became governor, the judge has every opportunity to manipulate it. We decided to say no. For there to be peace and harmony, let our upland brothers be. That's how Peter Odile became governor. And several photos, he said, anybody who sees a Calabari man, when we are done in his Thanksgiving, must say thank you to a Calabari man. He said it. So it's we that let it. The spirit will let it go. It's not the same spirit with which we are being treated and received now. But that's not a problem. Fortunately, there's an Ijaw son now. So we have had, I've just counted. We have just counted. 2 elected, 2 military. All right? And this now revolves along senatorial. At the end of the day, another Ijaw son will be. We are being sympathetic. Politics is not a game of isolation. Politics involve bridge building. Politics involve collaboration. Politics involve brotherhood. Politics involve love binding. What the Ijaws have been doing with the rest of the brother is love binding. And what they have done with us is love binding and bridge building. Not because they can do without us. And not because we can do without them. So he lacks history. He lacks political historic knowledge. I've just mentioned 2.
Let me finally, the threat to impeachment. Very recently, there have been attempts, there have been actions that seem like they're paving the way for it to happen. Today, there was a call on the EFCC to investigate the alleged age falsification of the chief judge. And that people have interpreted it to mean that they are paving the way for impeachment to happen. Brian Johnson, you're a supporter of police in life. Are you worried about it? What is
Yes, everybody will be concerned. But like I said, he who lives in glass house, let them not throw stones. Wike has page forgery case. Criminal cases are not easily buried, though. That's my answer for now.
So guys, what has been happening in Rivers State is still what Nigerians are like struggling to understand. Not because we don't know where the problem is coming from, but because Nigerians are still trying to understand how people can just because of their political interest allow a state to crumble. With all this turmoil, tell me how a reasonable investor will want to go to Rivers State to go invest. People are no longer interested, and it's going to be affecting the revenue of this country. Now, Tinubu is busy taxing people. Revenue is gone. Electricity tariff is up. Telecommunication tariff is up. Everything has increased, but still, Tinubu is not even thinking on other ways to create revenue. They don't know what the things they are doing in Rivers State is costing the entire nation, because I believe that Fubara would have seen more investors trooping into Rivers State if the state had experienced peace. But for the fact that these politicians, they just want to grab power at all costs. So even if the state is burning, it does not concern them. For the fact that we have this kind of leaders, it's still something that keeps Nigerians wondering that such a thing can be happening. You can imagine Tinubu is being called out in all these things all the time, that he's the one using Wike to destabilize the state. And still, Tinubu is not even playing his cards well by coming out to denounce whatever Wike is doing. You see the boldness of Wike. That tells you that somebody is behind Wike, giving him the go-ahead order. If not, Wike is no longer the governor of the state. He's just an FCT minister. He cannot come out and be pulling this weight without somebody telling him to go ahead. There is a stronger power behind Wike. We saw how Wike boasted using the Supreme Court, the judiciary. He told some of his boys, nobody is going to remove you. And today, nobody removed him because the judiciary is gone. All the government bodies, we don't have strong institutions again. They are all gone. People are just playing political cards, even when it involves the lives of the people. If Fubara had been this kind of leader that Wike is, what would have happened in the state? It would have been turmoil. Even this one, Tinubu has come out to tell Fubara, go and implement the Supreme Court ruling. Go and implement the Supreme Court ruling. Tinubu is not cautioning Wike. He's only telling Fubara to go and do his own. And Fubara from the onset said he's going to obey. He's going to obey the Supreme Court ruling because he's for peace. But you see Wike, if you've watched the latest interview he granted, he was bashing out. He was talking. Wike is talking as if he's even the president. He's not the president. But he was talking because he believes that, the president is behind him. And that's why Nigerians are saying what is happening in Rivers State today, blame it on Tinubu, not on any other person. Wike is just an instrument. It's just a vehicle. For Tinubu to implement whatever. Okay, this man is saying that Tinubu is using the divide and rule tactics he used in Lagos. He wants to use it on Rivers. But anyway, the joy in all this is that the people of Rivers are strongly behind Fubara. And they said they are not going to let Fubara down. Let's see how all this is going to play out. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.